We are providing only 20% video as a part of promotion. For remaining 80%, that is 6 to 8 articles, current affairs video and general studies complete videos, please subscribe to our complete package. 3. Why the crisis is deepening between Iran and Saudi Arabia presently. Who are the Sunnis? Who are the Shia? What role has sectarianism played in recent crises? GS Paper 2, India Beyond Its Neighbors. Why the crisis is deepening between Iran and Saudi Arabia presently. Saudi Arabia has executed the prominent Shia cleric Sheikh Nimr al-Nimr. He was among 47 people put to death after being convicted of terrorism offenses. Sheikh Nimr was a vocal supporter of the mass anti-government protests that erupted in Eastern Province in 2011, where a Shia majority have long complained of marginalization. Shia-led Iran said Saudi Arabia would pay a high price for the execution. Iran is the main regional rival of Sunni-ruled Saudi Arabia. As the Shia power in the region, Iran takes huge interest in the affairs of Shia minorities in the Middle East. And it was inevitable that Tehran and Riyadh would clash over the treatment of Sheikh Nimr. The Iranians had warned that the death sentence handed to him should not be carried out. But the concern of Saudi in doing so is that growing influence of Iran in places like Syria, Iraq and elsewhere. Saudi authorities deny discriminating against Shia Muslims and blame Iran for stirring up discontent. Who are the Sunnis? The great majority of the world's more than 1.5 billion Muslims are Sunnis. Estimates suggest the figure is somewhere between 85% and 90%. In the Middle East, Sunnis make up 90% or more of the populations of Egypt, Jordan, and Saudi Arabia. Sunnis regard themselves as the orthodox branch of Islam. The name Sunni is derived from the phrase al-Sunnah, or people of the tradition. The tradition in this case refers to practices based on what the Prophet Muhammad said, did, agreed to or condemned. All Muslims are guided by the Sunnah, but Sunnis stress its primacy. Shia are also guided by the wisdom of Muhammad's descendants through his son-in-law and cousin, Ali. Who are the Shia? Shia constitute about 10% of all Muslims, and globally their population is estimated at between 154 and 200 million. Shia Muslims are in the majority in Iran, Iraq, Bahrain, Azerbaijan and, according to some estimates, Yemen. They claim that Ali was the rightful successor to the Prophet Muhammad as leader, Imam, of the Muslim community following his death in 632. Ali was assassinated in 661 after a 5-year caliphate that was marred by civil war. His sons, Hassan and Hussein, were denied what they thought was their legitimate right of accession to the caliphate, and both of them were killed. These events gave rise to the Shia concept of martyrdom and the rituals of grieving. What role has sectarianism played in recent crises? In countries which have been governed by Sunnis, Shia tend to make up the poorest sections of society. They often see themselves as victims of discrimination and oppression. Sunni extremists frequently denounce Shia as heretics who should be killed. The Iranian Revolution of 1979 launched a radical Shia Islamist agenda that was perceived as a challenge to conservative Sunni regimes, particularly in the Gulf. Tehran's policy of supporting Shia militias and parties beyond its borders was matched by Sunni-ruled Gulf states, which strengthened their links to Sunni governments and movements elsewhere. Today, many conflicts in the region have strong sectarian overtones. 4. WHO says the world's dirtiest city, Delhi, is responsible for up to 30,000 deaths every year due to lowering air quality. PM 2.5, the small particles in the air considered dangerous for lungs and the heart, stood at 403.6 micrograms per cubic meter in the Indian capital as of 1400 hours, Monday, while the safe limit defined by the WHO in 25. A visible layer of smog hovered over the city on Monday and overall pollution levels continued to be deemed hazardous on the U.S. Embassy's Air Quality Index. As well as vehicles, experts say the burning of crops and dust from construction also heavily affect Delhi's toxic air. What are PM 2.5 particles? Particulate matter, or PM 2.5, is a type of pollution involving fine particles less than 2.5 microns, 0.0025 millimeters, in diameter. A second type, PM10, is of coarser particles with a diameter of up to 10 microns. Some occur naturally, for example from dust storms and forest fires, others from human industrial processes. They often consist of fragments that are small enough to reach the lungs or, in the smallest cases, to cross into the bloodstream as well. A buildup of PM 2.5 in the lungs has been associated with causing respiratory illnesses and lung damage.